Hello and welcome to another episode of Toothless MMA Radio Series Quick Hitters. I'll be your host, John Galloway. Today, as we look at the world of combat sports, I'll be joined by my guest, Brian Houston. Now, Brian, since we spoke last, there's been a development in your career. Why don't you tell us what's going on?
What's going on right now is I was previously released from the UFC. They told me I was too green and I need to get a couple more fights and then come back. So what we're doing right now is we're on the regional level, just picking up fights. I had a fight maybe a month ago or so, but it ended up falling through because he got there on the day of the fight, so they said it couldn't happen. So. But now, good news is I have another fight coming up August 2nd back in Omaha, Nebraska. So, regardless, I'm pretty happy. I got something coming up, so, and then after this, we'll be able to start hopefully moving into more fights and then getting into something bigger. That's pretty much what the plan is right now. So it's just the patience to let it develop, I guess. So that's pretty much what's going on right now.
Okay, now this new fight is coming up. It's with Victory Fighting Championships. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Victory Fighting Championship in Omaha, Nebraska.
All right. Now this isn't your first time with them.
This is where my pro career started. My first fight was in the Victory Fighting Championship, and my third amateur fight was in the Victory Fighting Championship too. So, when I first turned pro, started there, and then went a couple other places, then ended up going to the UFC. But it's my home. It's really where I started fighting. So, it's pretty much like I'm not even leaving Florida. It's almost like I'm going back to Georgia. That's another home. I have a lot of support back there, so this will be so far the guys that's going to be on the card is really, really, really good so far. You got a lot of guys that haven't been either in state or haven't been fighting. Guys that have actually had things going on. A lot of us are fighting on this card. So it's gonna. This is a card I'm actually very happy to be a part of. So.
All right, now. Going into this, is this a one-off fight, or are you signed for a multi-fight contract here?
It all depends on what my manager is negotiating, because we're really not looking for a long term. We're really just trying to get some fights, and then so we can get back to the UFC, because they know I can fight. They just had to get rid of me due to money. So that's the only reason I'm not in the UFC anymore. But they said it'd be a good chance for me to go down, to get some experience, get some fights, and then come back, with more backing me like I came in the first time, So, and then being that I've already been to the UFC would actually be a plus for me. So, we're not really looking for a long-term deal with anyone. Tops, I'd say 4 fights. So, it might be a 4-fight deal, but it really all depends on what my management says. So, that would be something I could partially fill you in on. But it really depends on what they're working out and actually what does come up. So, but other than that, it's just a one-time fight deal as far as I'm concerned right now. And then we'll hopefully get somewhere either televised or somewhere where I can fight a higher level fighter.
Okay, now as of right now, you don't have a specific opponent. Your opponent is to be announced. Once you do find out who you're fighting, are you a guy that'll watch film on your opponent to try to pick out weaknesses and strengths and formulate a game plan? Or will you go into the fight more focused on what you can control and what you're doing?
I do both. Like, what I'll do is, actually, before they even tell me about the guy, they'll tell me who I'm fighting, or they'll say, look at him. But what they'll normally do is they'll say, look at the guy. So I'll get a look at him first before I even decide if I want to fight him. But it'll usually it won't take me around. It won't even take me 2 minutes before I decide if I want to fight someone or not. Then I can really look at a guy and tell off if I'll be able to beat him. and it really doesn't depend on what he does. It depends on what level he's at, but where we're at right now, just regional, it doesn't really take me that long to figure out whether I'll be able to beat the guy or not. And so I'll just watch a little bit of film. Make a choice, then I'll go. I'll train for them, but at the same time, I won't really train for them. I really just go in there and I do my own thing. You know what I mean? No one really fights you the same. I've never had a guy fight me the same, ever in my life. Everybody, I swear, everybody comes out there and they do something either totally off. Yeah, they do something totally out the way. I think the only person that really ever fought me straight up was Bronson. Other than that, everybody else has come out and had like game plans and done this and that. No one's really just come out and just fought. So I mean, like, I feel like if I look at film to see if I mean, is he a punk or not? If he's not a punk, then we can move on. Okay, does he work well going forward, backward? You know, where is he best at, in what direction? How strong is he? How strong does he look? Is he a strong wrestler? If he's a strong wrestler, it really doesn't matter to me. But if he's strong at something that I'm not as good at, or if he's strong at something, or if he's on the same level that I'm at, I mean, but it really all depends, and that's still hard. And I feel like in my mind, I feel like it's hard to match me on, you know, every level. You know, I feel like athletic ability, speed, strength. I feel like I have a very high level with that, and not to mention my technique. So I feel like it's hard for someone to just watch film on me and say, all right, I can beat this dude. You know, I feel like you would have to fight me if you. The only way guys will fight me is if they have to. If guys don't have to fight me, they won't fight me.
All right, now
I guess that's what I'm saying.
All right, now you said you look at your opponent and know within a couple minutes whether or not you're down to fight him. What exactly are you looking at? Are you picking out his build? Are you picking out a look in his eyes? What exactly are you looking for to determine, you know, whether or not this is the guy or not?
If he's good or not. If he's good or not. I mean, I see technique every day. I can look at a dude on film and be like, his technique's awful. All right, I'll take the fight. Because, all right, I have a friend. His name is John Hansen. He's actually one of my jiu-jitsu coaches back in Omaha. He said, man, technique and strength will never win alone. He said, technique and strength will always win, no matter what level you're on. Technique and strength will always win. So I look at a dude and I'm like, all right, he's strong. His technique is awful. So he's going to get tired fast. Yeah, I'll fight him. I'll beat him up in a second. And I'll probably get a fourth minute. Okay, he's got a lot of technique. He's weak as a kid. I'm going to beat this boy up. I mean, really small things, man. I don't really care if he does a 1-1-2. Everybody throws techniques. I'm talking about you as a physical specimen. You know, like, what do you have? You know, like, it's a lot of other things. I don't even look at your technique like that as far as, like, what you're throwing at me. I mean, I look and see what you like to do. You know, it's like football. You know, do they like to throw the long, deep ball, or are they good at this and that? You know, but I just have my film, what I'm looking at is a lot smaller than a football film, so I don't really have to do as much. You know, I just look at him as if I can roll over you, then I'll roll over you. It just makes the fight easy. But if I can't roll over you, you got a lot of strength, or you got a lot of this or that prevents me from doing that, all right, then I'll technically beat you. You know? So, I mean, it's just me looking at different ways to beat you, not different techniques, man. Everybody be thinking that all these techniques, no, man. It's good to catch somebody, but if you go out there hoping to do that, man, and looking for it, man, you'll be looking for a long time. That's like finding Where's Waldo, you know, in a book as big as a house. Yeah, you keep looking for that. You know, guys find it, but it's seldom. You know, if you're looking for it, you will never find it. It presents itself when you stop looking. But I don't really look at too much. Just I'm running off a little bit. But I really just look at their physical aspects. You know, if you're not an athlete, if you're not strong, if you don't have technique, I mean, those small things, especially on a regional level. Actually, no. Even when you get in the UFC, you know, a lot of guys don't have technique. You know, I'm like, his technique's awful. Okay, yeah, he hits hard at the beginning of the fight. He's going to stop hitting hard in about 5 minutes. He's going to start wrestling around. He's going to get tired. He has no technique, so he's not going to hit hard later on. Yeah, I'll fight him. It's the same thing, you know, for whatever level you're at, it's the exact same thing. So, I mean, like, I don't know, it's not really, you don't really have to watch a lot of film on guys, you know, I mean, I feel like it sets you up, you know. I feel like if you want to get ready for a guy, you should fight somebody that's a much better version than they are. You know, so, like, say if I want to fight like a Cain Velasquez, it's going to be hard to find somebody that's going to really bring something that's better than him. So if you can't find one person to do it, then you find 2 or 3. You know, you find heavyweights. All right, this guy can move. All right, this guy can move and wrestle. All right, this guy can do this. But everybody's lacking one little thing. You know, like, you know, I don't know. It's not even it's a game. It really is a game. You know, and guys, you look at it too hard, man. Like, they pay attention to so many other things when they're out there playing a game. I've never seen a person play a game so mad. And guys will be out there playing these games mad. It's a game, dude. You'll get to the head. It'll be, I think MMA will probably flourish. I don't know. Maybe it'll make that next step, the next leap to the whatever, I don't know, whatever level they're talking about. MMA is about to expand to. What's the other question?
Now, based on our previous conversation and looking back at you coming up, we had discussed how you had a knack for athletic ability. Soccer, football, wrestling. Now, what areas do you think are your weaknesses that you're trying to strengthen right now?
My areas of weakness? Oh man, that'll be a secret.
Yeah,
that's a secret right there. Right? I'm like this. What Muhammad Ali said? He said, man, you want to know if I can take a punch? All right. You ain't gonna never find out because I ain't gonna let you. So I'm not gonna let nobody find out what my weaknesses are. I'm pretty sure they know what they are, but they don't know what they are. No, I've gotten so much better. So I mean, that weakness not even a weakness anymore. You know, so
I like it and I can respect that.
Well, like I said, it's a game. It's a game, and if I give away all my tools, sooner or later I'll be like those big businesses that they'll start something, and then somebody will copy it, then they'll be the ones that move them out. You know, because they made a better version. So I keep my own version to myself.
All right. Well, Brian, when you find out who your opponent is, get back to us, and we'll either have you on, or if you're in training camp, we'll at least get the announcement out there. But once again, this is going to be Victory Fighting Championship. August 2nd, is that correct?
VFC 43.
VFC 43 in Omaha, Nebraska. Was that August 2nd?
Yes, sir. August 2nd, Mission Arena.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up another episode of Toothless MMA's radio series, Quick Hitters. I'd like to extend a big thank you to today's guests for joining us. For Brian Houston, this is John Galloway, your host, and we are tapping out.